So now let's talk a little bit about how to complete your advanced Excel assignment. One of the required reports you're supposed to create is this report, Trip Expenses by Purpose and Destination. Now this is a pivot table. So you just have to make sure that you have all the fields that you need in your data source in order to complete this pivot table. So you need reason, destination, airfare total, meals total, and hotel total. Now, if you switch to your Q4 trips in your workbook, you'll see that you've got most of these fields already. So you've got destination here, you've got reason here, you've got, you've got region, reason, and you have the expenses for each trip here. So you've got everything you need to create that first report. So to create the pivot table on Windows, you just have to go click on any of the cells that is inside your data source and then insert pivot table. Okay, and Excel will automatically detect the range that contains your data, confirm that this range is correct, and put your pivot table in a new worksheet and then click OK. Okay, so now you will see all the fields from your data source here on the right hand side, and you just simply click the fields that you want and they will automatically show up on the pivot table report. And if they don't show up in the correct location, for example, if it shows up in rows but you want it in filters or you want it in columns, you just click from this area and drag to this area. Okay, so how about we try to build that report earlier that we saw. So the first thing we need is reason. Okay, the first field we need is reason. So you click reason. Okay, and reason now shows up here on each row, and that's correct. So we continue and we click destination. Okay, and now destination appears. So here's reason and here's destination down here. Maybe I'll enlarge this so you'll see it better. Okay, so now we have two fields on the row labels, reason and destination. Okay, and we also need the total airfare. So when I click airfare, you'll see that sum of airfare automatically appears here on the values, and that's correct. So I continue, I click meals, and I click hotel. And that's it. That's what I need for this report. And they all showed up in the correct location, so I don't need to drag any of these fields anywhere else. But I do need to format the report. So some of the things I need to do are, to format my numbers because this is a little hard to read. So I'm going to select all my numbers. I'm going to click home and then I'm going to click comma style because it's a really fast way to line up all the numbers and to put the commas and decimal place. And then for the column names up here, okay, I'm going to double click sum of airfare and then you'll see the custom name here. So I can enter total airfare because that sounds better than sum of airfare. And then I press enter. I'll do the same here. Whoops, I think I need meals total. Here I need airfare total. And hotel total. Okay. Now, if you look at the model answer, you'll see that, so I'm going to make this a little bigger. If we switch to the model answer, you'll see that my destination, even though it's on the row along with the reason, it's not indented below reason, but rather it's on a separate column of its own. So how can we have the same effect here in our pivot table? Well, click on the pivot table and then you'll see two menu tabs up here. One is analyze and the other one is design. So under design you will see report layout. Just switch to tabular. Okay, and tabular will move the destination from being indented below the reason to a separate column of its own, and that's exactly what we have in our model answer. And another thing about pivot tables is under design, you've got a lot of built-in styles, so you can just choose a style that you like. So you can very quickly format your pivot table. And I think I'll go for a medium coloring. So it's up to you what color you'd like to choose, but just don't choose something that's too bright. So maybe I'm gonna stick with something blue. Okay, blue and gray. All right, so this is my first report, and it's called, okay, if you look up here, it's supposed to be called Trip Expenses by Purpose and Destination. Now, over here, it's called Sheet 1, so I'm gonna try and enter. Okay, so I'm running up against I'm I'm running up against the limit there, so I'm just gonna say expenses by purpose and destination. Okay, and I think I'll just enter it up to here. Okay, and so that's my first report. And of course, I can also add titles up here. So I can put here Acme Company. Okay, trip expenses by purpose and destination. Destination. Okay, and I can, right click here and insert a new row. Okay, I'll put the time period, which is fourth quarter of 2016. Okay. Okay, let me check that it's 2016. Yeah, it's 2016 up here. So now I can merge and center. And make this maybe size 22. And I'm just choosing a color that matches what I have already. Okay, I could change this later. All right, so this is my first report. And so remember to format your report titles as well, because it's important to have clear titles on all your reports.